everybody, and welcome back. In this week's chapter of the Ethics of Fathers, chapter 6, the second Mishnah, tells us the following. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi taught the following. Ein lacha ben chorin ela mi she'osek b'Torah. You don't have anyone who is truly free unless they occupy themselves with the study of Torah. Now think about a statement like that. There's no one who's considered free unless they occupy themselves with Torah. Shouldn't it be the opposite? Someone who occupies themselves with Torah, which means they live a life of meaning, guided by the inspiration of Torah. It has so many restrictions. There's so many things we must do during a certain time. There are many things we may never do. What about speaking? The Torah even has limits on what we must say at particular times, what we may never say, and even our thoughts we're expected to control. That is all called freedom, real freedom. And so the Rebbe once explained it this way. Freedom means that you have all your needs provided for. If you have needs that are not being provided, then you're deficient and you can't truly feel freedom. You can't live as a free person if your needs have been withheld. This, of course, goes right across the board. Every person has individual needs. There's general needs that as human beings we all need. And when we have those, we can feel and exist as free people. But we need to recognize that as Jews, and this is the point of Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, as Jews we have a soul, a godly soul. A godly soul needs its own source of sustenance. It needs its own oxygen to continue to thrive, not just survive. The oxygen for the soul, for a godly soul, is the Torah, is living a life of meaning. We as Jews have a yearning to connect with something that's much greater than ourselves. We have a need to connect to God, to experience godliness through Torah. The Talmud tells a story which really encapsulates this idea very well. It was during Roman rule, and Rabbi Akiva, who was the greatest teacher at the time, was being pursued by the Romans because they had established harsh decrees against those that studied the Torah or taught the Torah. One day a fellow, his name was Papas ben Yehuda, and he walked into the synagogue and he found Rabbi Akiva teaching many students. And he turned in surprise to Rabbi Akiva, do you realize that if you're caught, you are literally forfeiting your life? How could you be doing this? And Rabbi Akiva told Papas, he says, I will give you a parable. There was once a fox walking along the side of the river, and the fox decided that for lunch he'd like to have a fish. And so he called out to the fish in the water, and he said, why don't you come and join me on the dry land? A particular fish stuck its head out of the water and called back to the fox and said, are you kidding me? You cannot be the smartest of the animals. If our lives are in danger while we're in the water, we're in danger of being caught by fishermen. If we're on the dry land, there's no chance that we could exist. And so Rabbi Akiva turned to Papas and he said, you need to appreciate, I don't study Torah to get points, to get reward, to achieve a degree. I study Torah because my soul needs the Torah. Ki hem chayenu. The Torah is our very life. And that's why I study Torah. Where else should I go? If I don't study Torah, my spiritual life is in jeopardy. And so, as we prepare next week for receiving the Torah, Friday and Shabbat of next week is a holiday of Shavuot, the holiday that commemorates us receiving the Torah at Sinai, let us commit to strengthen our relationship with God through the study of Torah, the observance of its mitzvahs. May we all have a good Shabbos and a good Yom Tov, and soon be all reunited together in Eretz Yisrael with the coming of Mashiach speedily in our days.